What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Motives with the Motivator. Listen, I'm excited, you guys, because today I have an exclusive interview with the man of the city. Literally, he is now the man of the city. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor-elect Randall Woodfin. What's going on, big brother?
You got it, brother. Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here. To your viewers and those who are watching, just let's get it, man.
Definitely. So, listen, there's a lot of questions. We got a lot of things to cover.
Okay.
A little time, but let's jump into it. You were successful in becoming the new mayor of the city of Birmingham.
That's correct.
How does it feel now? We've talked, I think, right during the time of election season. Now it's over. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels that I have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And that responsibility is not light. It's heavy. And it's heavy around making sure we do several things. One of them being I have to, from a talent acquisition standpoint, build a pretty formidable team. People who can be in place and position, whether it's appointed staff or a department head,
Okay.
to make sure we are providing the services we're supposed to provide through departments from the city of Birmingham.
Okay.
I think the second space we have to be in is all these issues we talked about during the campaign, be on the solutions end of them now. So how do we address decreasing crime through a real public safety plan? How do we support small businesses, minority-owned, black-owned, women-owned businesses better? How do we be in a space to support workforce development and workforce training for our young people who don't want to go to college so they can be employable when they finish high school? So these are the things we just have to be loud about, intentional about, and aggressive about.
Okay. Now, you've already gotten criticism from people, and you haven't even gotten in office yet. So how do you handle that? How's that? I mean, I know it comes with the job, but
Yeah, so-
how do you handle something like that?
And so here's the deal. I'm in a position to help the people of this city and this city move.
Okay.
Everybody's not going to like it. Criticism comes with it. That's to be expected. But I think, for me, man, humility is important, remaining humble. But keeping my head down and just doing the work, too.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody's not going to agree with my style. Everybody's not going to agree with my word choice. Everybody's not going to agree with the decisions I make. But I can commit to everybody that's listening to this. The decisions I make will be in the best interest of the city.
Yeah. Now let's talk about your committees. You've already started kind of making five. So how does that transition into the city? Like, what are their parts? What are the things that the committees that you've already kind of assigned?
Yeah, so the 5 committees are neighborhood revitalization and public safety,
Okay.
economic development, entrepreneurship,
Okay.
education and workforce development,
Okay.
efficient government and transparency, and social justice.
Okay.
When you think about these 5 committees, they each probably touch not only just one of the departments that exist in the city, but they also touch all these issues we're concerned about.
Gotcha.
So something, whatever your personal interest is or whatever your interest is of your viewers, whatever that interest in, whatever they're passionate about, falls under one of those things. We have to be in a space where we are assessing the issue, looking at what the departments provide, how do they provide those services, and can it be better? Best practices as well as metrics on here's a timeline on how to address these issues.
Gotcha. So a lot of people want to know, man, are you going to hire citizens from the city, or are you outsourcing? Meaning, like, as far as department heads, employees, and stuff.
Yeah, so that's important. There are 4,400 employees in the city of Birmingham.
Wow.
Civil service employees.
Okay.
Regardless of whoever the mayor is, those 4,400 employees are intact.
Gotcha.
Separate from those 4,400 employees,
Yeah.
the mayor has the ability and power to hire staff that serve at the pleasure of the mayor. The current mayor has 100 people.
Okay.
I can tell you I won't have 100 people.
Okay.
City Hall is not a hiring agency.
Okay.
We can't be at a space of an abuse of tax dollars just hiring who I want when I want. We have to hire people who have a skill set that helps move the city forward.
Gotcha.
From that space, if you are a department head for me, my expectation is that you will live in the city of Birmingham.
Gotcha.
Period.
Okay.
So you either live in the city or you have to move in the city.
Gotcha.
Either way, you're going to live in the city.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Classic. There's a picture that's going out that is now called an iconic picture. You and all the past mayors except for
Missing
Mayor
Larry.
Langford.
Missing Larry, man. We wish Larry was in that picture with us.
Definitely,
Right.
definitely. So what was going through your head that day? Because a lot of people want to know, man. Randall looks like he was cool, chillax. Of course, you're always like that, but
Honestly, all of us had some conversations beforehand.
okay,
Look, the gentleman in that picture, Dr. Richard Arrington, Dr. Bernard Kincaid, and William Bell, have all been in a space where they are in a small footprint of people who have stood in the shoes I am getting ready to stand in.
yeah,
It would be crazy of me not to talk with them. It would be crazy
You're
of me not to communicate with them. It would be crazy of me not to learn or glean from them what not to do and best practices. Come on. And anytime I have the opportunity to be a student, a sponge, and sit at the foot of those gentlemen and learn, I'm going to do it every time.
definitely.
Yeah, so it was cool. The game was cool, man.
Oh yeah. My team didn't win, but it's all right.
Next time, man.
So, man, listen. So, you're making a lot of changes and great changes, might I say. Let's talk about crime because that's one of the committees you have. Right now, man, we're going through
3 murders in one day, and we're not even mad about it. We're not sad enough about it. We're not vocal enough about it. At a certain point, I know I cut you off, man, but it's like we had 3 murders in one day. Like,
what do we do?
2 in broad daylight. So here's where I am. That's unacceptable. And I think it's time to have a public safety plan that puts people on notice we're not playing.
Okay.
Right? So you can't walk around here toting illegal guns and don't think we're not going to enforce the laws that exist on the books. Right?
Yeah.
Because the people walking around with illegal guns are hurting people. And the dope boys, we know where the stash houses are.
Mm-hmm.
We know where the transaction
Yeah.
houses are. Really what they're trying to do is a business, apparently, right? But it's hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have some conversations. And those conversations have to be plain language.
So
Plain language.
Yeah, a lot of things also come from club life. We see recently the city just closed down Sky Lounge.
Right.
I think next week they're deciding on the Onyx, which has a whole nother subject to it. But what do we do to keep businesses like those, but bring peace to it and also have more visible law enforcement there? What do we do?
Well, look, I support small business owners. I support small black business owners. They got to keep a tight ship on who they let in their business and how they control, not just crowd control, but security.
Okay.
It's at their discretion. So if something comes in there that shouldn't be there,
Mm-hmm.
that's not that small business owner using their discretion that works for them.
Gotcha.
I don't want to close anybody's business, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The 2 businesses you just named, I don't have no problem with either one of them.
Yeah.
We have to be in a space where mayor supports black-owned business.
Gotcha.
And if that business is in the social aspect of a club, a lounge, or a bar, my expectation is simple. You as the owner, protect yourself. Don't allow the government to come in and close you down.
Gotcha.
Do what's necessary to protect your business.
Gotcha. So, with that being said, with all these 3 murders in one day, I think there was a shooting during Classic.
Listen, I think there is enough intelligence that exists out there that lets us know, I said it earlier, some of these, what's happening around drug activity,
Mm-hmm.
where certain houses exist where we know illegal activity is going on.
Okay.
We are going to have not just conversations, but a clamp down on some of this activity.
Gotcha.
Because it's gotten to a point not just on the drug side, but on the murder and robbery side,
Okay.
that people are being hurt.
Now,
And it's not enough to just talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not enough that if we know about it, just sit on the sideline about it. So
Gotcha.
we have to have not just conversations, but we got to have some action around, we got to shut this down.
so you're pretty transparent, and I don't want to put you on ambush, but BRI? Is it needed in this city? Is it important? Will we keep it?
It's a good question. I'll be honest with you. It's part of my fact finding and assessment. I've sat and talked with the people who are over VRI, and I've shared with them I'm not pleased with it at all. For me, here's where I am. If this entire table represents or should represent an entire public safety plan, then this pen that sits on this big table is only VRI.
Gotcha.
This cannot be our only public safety plan.
Gotcha.
If we're talking about VRI, that only costs us about $100,000 from the city, with city
Really?
tax dollars. But this entire table represents $90 million towards our police department. We're missing the boat,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So what is the actual public safety plan that covers the length of this table? And if the VRI is a portion of that public safety plan, cool, we can talk about it in that aspect. But if people are asking me if the VRI is the only thing we're talking about public safety, it's not enough. Not only is it enough, but that's not how I'm addressing crime.
Gotcha. Okay. So we're looking at building and doing
A
more.
real public safety plan
Gotcha.
that addresses crime from the standpoint of making people feel safe where they live, on their porch, in their front yard.
Gotcha.
A real public safety plan that addresses empowering people where they live, and a real public safety plan that allows us to be in this position. If we know out of 99 neighborhoods, Central Park, Ensley, Gate City, Kingston, and the area around Rugby and the Port of Madrid, which is a portion of Southeast Lake, I just named you 5 out of 99 neighborhoods that crime is a little higher than other places. Then the current form of how we're policing is not working. At a minimum, those 5 areas, we're going to have to police in a different way that suppresses, stops crime, period. Not negotiable.
Okay. So I guess, do we have sub-police stations still? I
So
remember
you got
we
a
used
sub,
to.
you got, we got sub police stations. The question is, are they being used?
Gotcha. Okay. I got you. I think Brother said something like that at City Hall recently. Speaking of City Hall, new city council, new mayor. What's the relationship? Have you already kind of started
Yeah.
building something
Look,
with them?
That's a no-brainer, man. If anything is going to move in the city, I, as the mayor, have to talk to the 9 of them, individually and collectively as a body. I think it's important that I never stop communicating with them.
Gotcha.
So it's not just email, it's not just meetings, but it's pick up the phone,
Gotcha.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, continuing to talk, continuing to build a rapport. We represent the same people.
Okay.
So the people who live in District 6 through 9 or 1 through 5, that individual council person and I both represent the same people.
Gotcha.
There is no need for us to fight over anything if we're representing the same people.
Gotcha.
Because
So
it's
we-
the same issue on the ground.
So we will not see y'all on CNN. There will
No.
not be a brawl at City Hall.
No, it's like a 180 of that. It's like kumbaya.
Yeah.
It's a Hakuna Matata, man.
Definitely.
It's
So
smooth.
we have a new council president, Councilor Abbott.
Mhm.
How do you think that dynamics of relationship will go between you and her?
I think it'll go the same way I plan for it to go to the other 8 people. I'm going to
Okay.
be transparent.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be intentional about talking to all of them. We're going to move the city as a unit. It's the 10 of us. It's not 9 versus 1. It's not the mayor and the council president versus the other 8 people.
Yeah.
It's 10 of us in the boat.
Gotcha.
She's going to get the same treatment as everybody else. I'm going to over-communicate with all of them.
So here's one of our major Facebook questions that was asked on our social media. What are you going to do? And I hate that people kind of put it in a racial platform way, but what are you going to do for black businesses, especially 4th Avenue Business District? Is a historic black area. Big shout outs to Urban Impact. I got to tell you, I work with them and do some amazing
good
things.
folk.
So yeah.
Listen, I think we have to commit to several things. City of Birmingham has to continue to be aggressive. Since this is a Facebook question, I'll look directly at the camera. City of Birmingham has to be intentional and aggressive as it relates to the historic tax credits that the state offers. We've seen it done on 2nd Avenue North and 3rd Avenue North. It's time to be aggressive in moving those and trying to recruit those tax incentives and those, I guess, what the state is offering on 4th Avenue North now in that historic black district. That district has my commitment.
Okay.
That's not negotiable. I think we have to be in the space as a city that's 74% black.